What's the weirdest, creepiest, or most unexplainable thing you've woken up to after a night of partying? Woke up one morning to discover a girl blowing me as my other friend opened the door to my room to wake me up to go to church. Needless to say, I didn't go to church, and she finished the favor. Never saw either one of them again. I went to visit some friends in Georgia Southern and we were hanging out at my friend's apartment. I went outside to my friend's truck to smoke some weed with him. I ended up just falling asleep in the truck after smoking and he went back in to keep drinking. This part I don't remember, but I assume when he came back out to leave he told me to go inside. I just walked into the apartment that the truck was parked in front of and went to bed. Turns out I was 3 doors down in some random guy's apartment in his bed. When I woke up I walked downstairs extremely confused. He was passed out on the couch with porn on the TV and I just walked out the front door without saying anything. I have no idea if he even knew I was there. TLDR. Slept in some random guy's bed while he was passed out on the couch with porn on the TV. I had a friend who every time he got blackout drunk would wake up with all of his pockets, both pants and shirt, filled with bread. He never understood it. Funniest weirdest thing I've ever seen. I once woke up in a random person's house missing both of my shoes. As I attempted to find my way out of the house, I ran into one of the people that lived there. I apologized for being there and asked him if he had any idea how I ended up there. He said he had no idea that I was even there, but then called his roommate and asked him. Roommate said that I showed up on their doorstep at 3 AM. Banging loudly on the door. Roommate opens the door and all I could say was shoes are for pussies. TLDR. Got drunk at bar. Lost shoes. Showed up on random person's porch. Slept on couch. Random guys are cool. Woke up on the beach with a wild dog staring at me. Then looked over to see a guy still high on mushrooms digging a hole in the sand and putting his head in it. Mine takes the cake. I studied abroad when I was in college in Moscow. I went out clubbing and partying one night and woke up the next morning at this girl's apartment, located just outside Petersburg. Petersburg and Moscow are about 400 miles apart. Crazy Russians. A text message from a stranger that said, hey, I have your debit card. You made me take it from you to prevent you from thrift shopping. It was at the height of thrift shop's popularity. I'm an idiot. Not me, but I had a friend who passed out and then woke up in a house full of weed. He tells me there was stacks of it on the tables. Weed plants hanging from the ceiling. Just tons of weed. I woke up to the covers of my bed being gingerly moved by this guy I'd just met and brought home the night before. I assumed he was trying to leave without waking me, which I would have appreciated, so I pretended to still be asleep. Then the flash went off. He hadn't been trying to leave, he had been taking pictures of me sleeping naked. I should preface this story by saying I'm a male. When I was in high school I went to a house party. I barely knew the guy holding the party. He was a typical high school jock type, played football and skated. It was a typical high school house party. Beer was flowing. Shots were had etc. I went a bit crazy on the drinks and passed out. I woke up to the jock hovering above me, stroking my face saying everything will be alright over and over again. I assume he was also drunk, but man, it creeped me right out. I think I forced myself to pass out again so I wouldn't have to deal with it. Literally an entire bus stop sign, including concrete from where it was attached to the ground, sitting on my apartment balcony. Weird thing was, I didn't even go out drinking. A friend of mine did. Wandered to my apartment with this bus stop sign. Carried it all the way up the stairs. Realized he couldn't get inside so he dropped it over the balcony and went on his way. Edit. The sign, minus the pole. Was wearing a tiger costume for an international beer drinking competition in Jackson, WY. Our team was called Sparkles and Fur, and that was the reason for the tiger suit. Got real hammered and woke up to this chick feeling my chest and grabbing my ass. I was like sweet. Picked up a girl while passed out. Tried to give her a kiss and realized when the handcuffs came on that it was the ladder cop arresting me and feeling me for weapons. Edit. As requested, here is a photo of the suit as I was getting interrogated. Woke up once and rubbed my tongue across my upper jaw. 2 of my front teeth were gone. This was back in college. I woke up one morning and there was a random dude passed out in our living room. He reeked of piss and alcohol. I said, dude. He popped up like a startled animal and ran into the bathroom. Then quickly out of the bathroom. And then out of the back door. We never did find out who he was or what he was doing in our house. Not me, but still weird. Early to go to work. Heading towards the bathroom for a shower. Suddenly my roommate explodes out of his room in his undies and staring at his hands. Can I have a shower before you? I'm covered in mustard and I don't know why, he grumbled. I laughed for a brief moment until the stench of American mustard mixed with bourbon and body odor hit me. We found no mustard bottle or any evidence of late night hot dog. Got home from the bar with my roommate with no girls with us. I go to bed and wake up next to a girl I had never met before in my bed. She woke up shortly after, said oh, hey, and left. I woke up and my butt muscles hurt really bad. I was also in a construction hat, with a flower and a chocolate scented candle in my pockets. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm relatively sure I'm now one of the village people. I woke up with GameCube. Now, I have GameCube. Woke up in the hospital with 2 IDs. From random girls. Inside my wallet, in Vegas. To preface this, I live in Norway, so my winter clothing collection is, well, what I would actually consider clothing for winter. One morning after an end of exam party, I woke up wearing all, and I mean all, my warmest clothes. Long johns, 5 pairs of socks, 3 regular, 2 woolen pants, ski pants, 2 t-shirts, 2 woolly jumpers, 2 pairs of gloves, hat, and to top it all off, a scarf and fluffy bathrobe. I had passed out in the freeze your bull off rain. Wandered home where I was wrapped by some friends I was a bit late letting into the house. I woke up next to my friend and felt a wetness on my bed. Turns out she had a problem with peeing or whatever. I had her pee all over me. She begged me not to tell and she did my laundry with the sheets. We lost a friend of mine at around 3 AM one night. Found him again sleeping in a big bag in the graveyard of the church across the road, spooning a tramp. Woke up surrounded by dildos and burnt out candles. Apparently my friends tried to sacrifice me while I was passed out on the floor. Woke up and was like, oh my god, why do my boobs hurt so bad? Went and looked in the mirror. Size 10 gauge nipple rings that weren't there the day before. Rad. My friend's whole house. Salami sliding down the windows. Puke everywhere. Cat painted and won't come down from the shed. Girl unconscious where she fell off the stairs into a radiator. Stove cracked from people dancing on it. Bathroom door broken. Man shaped hole in hedge. Human it in garden Ike. He got kicked out for a while after that. One time I woke up in a 8-man cell and I had no idea why until I talked to a judge 2 days later. And I also once woke up in a hospital bed with a ripped ACL and 15 sticks in my head. I don't drink anymore lol. Woke up after a fairly mild Wednesday night. Slightly hungover. No biggie. About 7:30 AM. Getting ready for work. Making coffee and my lunch in the kitchen. Next thing I know a dog walks in. Okay, we babysit pets all the time. And it's not unusual for people to be crashed on the couch. Throw the dog some lunch meat. All is well. Friend of mine, owner of the dog, walks in the kitchen. Torn dress, leaves in hair, the whole shebang. Stares at me for about 2 minutes. I have a serious question to ask. How do you make acid stop working? Best way to start my day ever. TL. DR woke up after a decent party. Girl tripping her balls off in my kitchen with a dog. I woke up lying on the floor mattress after a night's boozing. Before dawn. And realized with horror that the devil was watching me from across the room. An ugly leer on his face. Which was at my level. I was petrified. As light began to filter in. His face resolved into a pile of dirty underwear. I once woke up with a DVD copy of Despicable Me in my pocket. No idea how I got it, but you know for damn sure I watched that it later on. Last thing I remember was being at the club. And then woke up in a random hotel room around the block from the club. Fully clothed. With a note and an email address. Took a taxi home and then my buddy played me a series of voicemails of me pocket dialing him where I'm arguing with cops. and the cop clearly saying you reached into my police car. You're going to jail. No idea how I got out of that situation. But the note person responded to my email saying he found me in the elevator and got me a room so that I wouldn't get arrested. To a street sweeper waking me up. Apparently we were drinking fortified wine near the docks, and I decided to go home. Well, in theory that is great, except for the part where I live a good hour's walk from the docks. So it seems that while walking home I noticed a beautiful tree growing on a side of this beautiful street and decided to go to sleep. Fun fact, that is the second biggest street in the city, and the traffic is quite constant. Luckily for me I was woken up at 6 AM so police hadn't yet collected me. Fun fact 2, I only drank fortified wine once more, 2 weeks later, and after that I blacked out and woke up in a hospital. That was the last time I drank fortified wine. That will duck you up. Edit. I have no idea what Buckfast is. I'll assume it's a brand of fortified wine in US. In Latvia we have Agdams, which I guess is kinda the same thing. Freshman year I drank in depression over a girl. I was 17, vulnerable, and newly introduced to alcohol. I threw down shot after shot of Vladdy trying to drown the pain. I remember ripping shots in my dorm room around 10 AM and that's about it. I woke up underneath a tree, soaking wet, and only in my boxers. It was dark outside and I was a couple miles from my dorm. No idea how I got there. For 2 weeks after random people on campus and in my dorm were coming up to me and retelling some weird encounter I had with them. Still don't know what happened to my clothes and how I ended up under the tree. A basement full of glass and melted ice cream. Apparently at 4 AM we decided to play drunk baseball with a tree branch and every single empty glass bottle in the house. And since we had just thrown a massive party, there were plenty, and then we threw ice cream. We never solved that part. I was out drinking with my friends but I had no luck so I went home fully stoned and drunk. Next morning I woke up to see that there was like half a liter of blood on my floor and Omegle was open on my PC's screen with the banned text. I still have no clue where the blood came from since I had no injuries at all. I once woke up with 2 massive bruises on my forehead made worse by the stinking hangover and the fact I had decided to sleep inside the duvet cover, buttoning it up behind me. I dressed as Hunter Thompson one Halloween. I awoke to find the beer in my suitcase had been replaced by a girl's shoe, a green glow stick and a large tub of hummus. Good times.